Hi everyone! In this tutorial I am going to show you how I do my s'mores mug. So this is a stainless steel mug from Hogg. It has been sanded and spray painted with ultra matte white spray paint. I use Rust-Oleum 2X. I'm doing a very fine, thin layer of KS Resin Liquidy Split. It is a fast set epoxy, so you got to work kind of fast. You want to make sure that you get your handle really well. Get inside the handle, on the sides, around all those curves and crevices. Just make sure you get it covered really well. For the graham cracker part of the s'more, I am using honey. It is a holographic glitter. And I'm just going to put it on the top and the bottom of the cup. I did notice a couple of spots that did not have epoxy that I missed, so I am just going and fixing that real quick. Again, I'm just doing it at the top and the bottom. This represents the graham cracker part of the s'more. And my lines are not perfect. If you want perfect lines, then you can just tape off the center of the cup and then apply your top and bottom. But if not, your lines don't have to be perfect. It's almost like doing an ombre, almost. You're not blending your colors, but so to do the marshmallow part, I'm using Snow Daze. It is a pearl white glitter, and it just gives a soft kind of marshmallowy look, I think. Again, make sure you get your handle really well. Get the underside of the handle, and especially the sides. And then I'm just going to do one more pass just to make sure that I did not miss any spots. And then I'm just going to let this set up, and then it'll be time to move on to the next step. So after the epoxy set up and I was able to get a closer look at the cup, I noticed some thin spots in my glitter where the white of the cup was showing through. So I needed to fix that. So to do that, I am going to use Loctite spray adhesive. You don't want to spray too heavy of a coat, because I've had it where it makes my cup, it made my cup look cloudy, almost foggy. It made the glitter look cloudy and foggy. So you want to just spray lightly in the areas where you need it. You might get a little bit of overspray onto other areas. So as you're applying your next coat of glitter, just be careful to keep the glitter in the areas where you're wanting to cover. And I did get some of the honey on the bottom of my handle. I'm not worried about it because you can only see it when you're looking at the bottom of the cup. So I let that set for a few hours, and then I applied 15 mLs of epoxy. And now I'm going to apply my water slides. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using Koala brand water slide paper. These images I got on Etsy, and I will leave a link for them in the description. So Koala reached out to me and asked me to try out their product. I normally use laser water slide paper, but this one worked really well. I didn't have any issues with it. Again, it is for ink jets, so you do have to seal it before you put it in water. So I printed my images backwards, or I mirrored them, and then I sealed them twice with Krylon triple thick clear spray. I'm getting my cup wet, and that just helps to be able to move the image around if I need to adjust it. And then I place my image side down onto the cup, and then just slide the backing paper right off. On this one I had a little bit of an issue. It wasn't because of the water slide paper itself. It happens sometimes when you're working with water slide, but one of my edges folded underneath itself. So I just pulled it away from the cup and then used the tip of my X-Acto knife to work it back out. If you leave it folded like that, you are going to be able to see it underneath epoxy. So you want to make sure that it's laying on there completely flat. Once I got them on there, then I used a silicone makeup brush. You can get them at the Dollar Tree, and I just use that to squeegee out any water underneath the water slide. And then I'm one of those people that likes to let my water slide sit for 12 to 24 hours to dry out. So now it's time to do the drips. So at this point the water slides are dry, but they have not been sealed. I have not sprayed them with any clear spray. I have not put any epoxy over them, but they are completely dry. If you feel more comfortable sealing them or putting a thin layer of epoxy over them, that's totally okay. But I did not. Again, I'm using the KS Resin Liquidy split, the fast set epoxy. I think this was 10 mLs of epoxy. And I'm using CCDIY Nice and Thick. It's a very fine white powder. And you just add in a little bit at a time, and you keep stirring it until you get the thickness that you want. You don't have to use this. The way I used to do it before I found this was I would mix up my epoxy and then just let it set until it started to thicken up. If you're using fast set epoxy, I would not let it sit too long. If you're using regular epoxy, it used to take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to start thickening up. And then at that point, you got to move fast. So once I have the thickness, and I always tend to add just a little bit too much of this Nice and Thick. But once you get it to the thickness that you want, then I added some acrylic paint to get my chocolate color. That one was called Melted Chocolate, and it's an Apple Barrel brand. It's just one of the 50-cent paints from Walmart, and then I added 1 drop of black just to give it a darker chocolate. So as you can see, I am not applying it to the top of the cup. With a s'more, you have your graham cracker at the top and the bottom, and then your chocolate and marshmallow in between. So that's why I'm adding the drips underneath that top color. And as you can see, I made the epoxy really nice and thick, and it's not dripping on its own. But I'm okay with that. I kind of like it because I can control, as you can see, I'm pulling it down with my popsicle stick. So I can control how far they come down or where I want to put a drip. I just pull it down with my stick, and it didn't drip down any further than what you see here on the cup right now. I did fix that boo-boo right there above the handle. I got a spot of chocolate on there where it wasn't supposed to be. You can wipe it off with a baby wipe. I have 70% alcohol wipes that I just wiped it off before the epoxy set up. So once this all set up, once I had my drips the way I wanted them and it all set up, then I did 10 mLs of epoxy. And because I used very fine glitter, the honey is like an ultra fine glitter, I didn't have to do a lot of sanding, so I just did a very light sand, and then I did another 10 mLs of epoxy, and the cup was done. So I think it's super cute. I love that little face, and it's really fun to make. It would look cute with a topper. I don't have the stuff to do the topper here, but eventually I will make one for it. And I think they're really easy to make. There's not a lot of steps to them, so I hope that you will give it a try. Look at that, he's super cute. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.